coming at y'all with another video. And in today's video, I do want to go over some of the cards that'll be coming out in the newest set for the Union Arena trading card game. And then the set that we will be getting is Sword Art Online. This is a very popular anime that came out, quite some time ago. I loved it when it came out. It was really, really cool. That being said, I did really only watch like the first 2 seasons. I kind of fell off with the 3rd season, but I think that this set brings a lot of really powerful cards into the game. And then I just kind of want to go over some of the cards that are coming out in the set. At least just like what we know that is coming out from the structure deck anyways. And then some of the other blue cards that you can see maybe you're throwing in this deck. I don't want to go into too much speculation. There are some sites that have, some translations for the entire set, but all of those are maybe not, I don't want to go over those until they're officially released, at least not until I can trust exactly what they say, because some of them aren't fully fleshed out. So in this video, I just want to go over what you can expect in the structure deck. So it's going to be blue. That is the color that the structure deck is going to be in, or starter deck, whatever you want to call it. But this does release on April the 25th. So coming up in a couple weeks. So just to get ahead of the game, I want to cover the structure deck, some of the blue cards that'll get into it, and then just kind of give you guys a rundown on what Blue Sword Art Online wants to be doing from this starter deck, and just a couple extra cards. And then I will continue to cover other cards as they get released ahead of time and all the translations are complete. But with that being said, let me minimize this out of here. You guys don't need to see me anymore. And here we are. This is on the official site for the Union Arena TCG, and you can see here that it is coming out on April 25th. Like I said, for these, your local game stores may be doing early pre-release events for the set and the structure decks. Fans of Sword Art Online should start here, right? So blue is going to be from the 1st season, and then also the Elfheim Online season part of the show as well. But these are 2 of the cards that will be coming in the structure deck. These are the 2 main cards. You're going to have a Kirito Anchored, 4 energy, 1 action point, 4000 BP, generates you 1 energy, all stat lines that we are used to for all of our, generic 4 energy raid cards. He can raid on top of Kirito. And then when played, you may choose 1 other character on both your front line and energy line and swap them. If Asuna is on your field, this character gains double attack until the end of the turn. So a little unfortunate that he only gains the double attack till the end of the turn. He doesn't keep it maybe whenever you switch out back and forth on your line. But spoilers, this is really, really strong, right? This is going to be one of the stronger decks in the set for sure. Going to be the blue Sword Art Online deck. All the other decks are really good too, but just from this structure deck alone, and what I can see from the Japanese meta is that this is, Union Arena does a really good job of making all the starter decks really strong. This is the other main card from the starter deck, your other ace card. And it is going to be Asuna herself from Anchored. 4 energy, 1 action point, 4000 plus BP. So we know we're going to get a boost here. She generates you 1 blue energy. Once per turn, when this character moves outside of your movement phase, it gains 1000 BP and impact until the end of the turn. So you have a 4 energy, 1 action point, 5000 BP impact body, and hers is once per turn. So you can see here that this deck is probably going to try to do some things that require you to, move your characters back and forth. And we will get into some of these cards, but I definitely think that this Asuna is going to be the main card that you're going to be, the Kirito is really, really strong, but Asuna is definitely going to be the one that helps you in the game since she has that, 5000 BP impact. We've seen with so many other cards that have impact, even just that 4000 be a problem, but her being 5 is really, really nice. One thing that's unfortunate here is that she's not a get trigger and she is an active trigger, so you're not going to be able to grab these Asunas out of your life. She is just an active trigger. Essentially, you're going to have to play her down, maybe on your energy line, and then, go into your Kirito the next turn, and then he lets you switch, one of your character on your energy line, swap it out with the Asuna. She moves up, and now she is 5000 BP, and impact 1. This is a little bit of a setup, so then your opponent knows that you're gonna do some stuff. But say you have your Kirito on the back line and this Asuna already on your turn 2 or 3, the next turn following up, you raid into this Kirito, and then he lets you move the Asuna up because you don't need energy required. You played her the turn before, right? So now you're going to have a 5,000 BP impact, and then also a double attacker on the turn, right? So that's going to be 3 damage your opponent's taking there, unless they just have a field full of 5,000 bodies, but there's not a lot of decks that do that at the moment. The site does show us which is going to be our, shiny alternate version of an action point, and it is going to be this beautiful art of Asuna. I love Asuna. She is definitely, my favorite character from the show, so it's going to be really cool to finally get to play her on a card. These should MSRP at around $12. I've seen these always be around 12 to 15 bucks depending on where you find them, which is not a bad price for any of these structure decks. This is just the art for the card, and it is wrapped in blue. So that is what is on the official site, and I did want to go over some other stuff they give us from this set on the site. This is just going into the cards in the box, right? So I am only going to try to go over the cards for the structure deck, but I do want to go over the cards that are going to help out the structure deck that we know of at the time. The booster box for Union Arena, the Sword Art Online set, is going to be released on May the 2nd, but you can look to do your pre-release at your local game stores, get those pre-release packs. And I just wanted to go down and touch on the cards here, right? So we do have a Raid Asuna Super Rare that is going to be coming in the actual set itself. And I do know that further along on this, they give us both the, 3-star cards of the Kirito. Beautiful, amazing art here. Really, really cool. I actually love the gold outline all across the characters, showing them really powering up. And this is really dope too. The naming on the side here is super, super cool. And then also their 2-star alt art signatures here. So this is going to be a 5 energy, 1 action point Asuna. So Kirito, sorry. This is going to be another one of your, raid characters. So if you take, 4 of this Kirito and 4 of the Asuna and then 4 of the other Kirito from the structure deck, that gives you a lot of raid targets in the deck, and that poses for a really consistent, powerful deck that is going to be consistent and very aggressive. So very cool to see an aggressive blue deck is what it's going for here. Signature art here. This one is 5 energy, 1 action point to play, 4,000 BP, and generates you 1 blue energy. Kirito, anchored, raid on top of Kirito. If on the front line, at the end of this character's attack, you may swap it with an Asuna on your energy line. Really, really good. So another way to get our Asuna moved up so that way she can get her impact and all that damage that she's going to do, that being the Asuna that is not the raid target. So you will have to have her set up ahead of time. And then activate main once per turn. Choose 1 character on both your front line and energy line and swap them. So this is really cool because you can swap out one of the Asunas that you need to move up first, get her impact effect, have another Asuna on your energy line, and then if this Kirito is on your front line at the end of his attack, you may swap it with another Asuna that's on your energy line. This keeps this Kirito really, really safe. This will be the most important combo part of the deck because this Kirito lets you get all of these things regardless of what your opponent has going on. You can choose to switch out these characters, and it just is activate main once per turn, so you get to keep doing this effect. You don't have to worry about only the turn you raid it, whereas the other one is only when you raid it that turn. But the other one does have double attack, so you can see here you're able to apply a lot of pressure early on your opponent, getting 3 to 4 swings in 1 turn on that 3 energy or 3 action point turn, and then follow it up on another big turn if they don't clear your board with this Kirito to put a lot more pressure on them. The other Asuna that we have that is going to be in the booster boxes for you to pull is this 2-star Asuna. This is such a beautiful art. I love Asuna. She is so pretty and cute and really, really strong. Just a wholehearted great character in the show. Very caring. I love Asuna. She's the best. 4 energy in blue, 1 action point is what it's going to cost you. Generates you 1 energy and it's 4,000 BP. It is a raid trigger in life, which, sorry I didn't touch on that for the Kirito. Obviously, he is a raid trigger as well in life. So this is our raid Asuna, the only one that we're getting. but she is really good, so you can raid her on top of an Asuna. If Kirito is on your field, this character gains impact 1. So this is just forever when you're raided. As long as Kirito's on your field and as long as you're raided, this has impact 1. This is so strong. You got another 4,000 BP impact character. So cool to see this on a body. You're going to be swinging in. I can't wait to build this deck. This definitely is going to be a very strong, aggressive deck, being able to swing in with impact, multiple attacks per turn. It also says during your turn, once per turn, when this character moves outside of your movement phase, it gains when attacking, draw a card until the end of the turn. This is really good because you can have her in the back line and then raid on top of her. And then since she was raided, she did move from that energy line up. It just says when this character moves outside the movement phase, right? So you're outside the movement phase, it does see it get moved. And then it gains the when attacking, draw a card until the end of the turn. So you will be able to do that to turn your raid, and then you know that the Kirito will then let you, after she attacks, if you need to switch her out later and then bring her back up again, you can keep doing these really cool shenanigans where you're bouncing back and forth, bringing these characters up and back. And the reason this is going to be really cool is because this is like pseudo protection, being able to move your characters from your energy line and, you know, back to the front line, and your opponent can't really usually touch things in your energy line unless they're playing todo in the boogie woogie, right? So gonna have pseudo protection in the fact that you get to do that. There are some other arts they are giving us for blue, which this is the 2 art of the Lisbeth. I love Lisbeth as well, our trusty, really cool support character in the show. I love her. Only 3 energy, 1 action point. This Lisbeth gives you 2 energy generation, so someone you're gonna want to keep on your back line, 3000 BP, and she is an active trigger in life, which is good. Lisbeth anchored character. During your turn, once per turn, when a character on your field moves outside of your movement phase, you may draw a card. If you do, place 1 card from your hand into your sideline. So not only is she generating you 2 energy, which, you know, for a 3 energy, 1 action point card with 3000 BP, that's super strong. These stat lines are kind of crazy. She also has an active trigger, and she's also giving you value to draw 1, trash 1 when you move outside of your movement phase. This is such a great card. You can see the power creep in Union Arena already, because other cards that have costed us this 2 energy 3000 BP usually don't have an effect on the body or anything in life, or just the active trigger. She gets it all, and it's also a beautiful art. I'm going to have a hard time trying to collect all 3 of these double rares from this. But blue gets a lot of love. Like I said, it is the main color for the set, being blue, and it being the, you know, 2 main protagonists, characters, and their allies. So we have Silica, the cute dragon tamer from the show. She's 3 energy, 1 action point, 3000 BP body. Like, these bodies are strong. Early on, if you're not seeing your pieces and you just have to play some of these bodies down, you're not going to feel bad about it. She generates you 1 energy. She is a draw trigger, which is really, really good. When played, play up to 1 Pina from your sideline, set to resting onto your field. Really, really good, beautiful art here. That is our alt arts for the blue. We do have other blue stuff going on here in the set, but that goes into the Alfheim online, Alfheim, however you say it, online part of the show, and I think that is a separate deck entirely. But let's get onto the other cards, right? Because this mentions a Pina, so I do want to touch up on some of the other cards that we know are coming out. In the structure deck, you are not going to have a Pina, but we can assume that you're going to, you know, get at least just this one here. We don't have any other Pinas, but right here you can see it just says activate main, switch to resting. Once per turn, this character gains extra energy generation till the end of the turn. At the end of your main phase, sideline this character. This is really cool and strong, being able to, you know, come here. Silica lets you play up to 1 Pina from your sideline set to resting. So you play the Silica out after you've used the effect for the Pina here, and then you get to bring the Pina back. So that's some good synergy there. So you're going to want to run probably 4 of this Pina, and then also 4 of the Silica, considering that she's a 3000 PP draw trigger. You get draw in your life, and this helps you keep bodies on the board. It is going to be set to resting on your field, but it doesn't have to be on your front line, right? This lets you place it on the field, so you can put it on the back line or the front line. Touching on the cards in the structure deck, can I filter this or sort it a certain way? I use EX Burst all the time. There we go. Nice. Alright, well, it kind of put our action points in the way, but that's beside the point, whatever. So in these starter decks, you are going to get a 0-drop Kirito, normal, stats, 15 BP, 1500 BP, 0-drop, 1 action point, 1 energy generation, and it is a get trigger, which is awesome. The Pinas that we touched on, no trigger in life, but she is 1000 BP, 1 action point, 1 energy, but she is your cheat to double energy generation in the deck. And we do have the Lisbeth herself. This is a really cool card. No trigger in life. It is 1000 BP, 1 energy generation, but it says when played, choose up to 1 character in your field. It gains 1000 BP till the end of the turn. Say you play this down and you have out your Asuna that is, you know, boosted up to the 5000 BP and impact 1. Say they have someone who just so happens to have the boost. Maybe you're going against a green Suzaku deck and you show up with a 6000 BP body now because the Lisbeth lets you give it 1000. This deck is very versatile and what it could do. And our other 0-drop in the deck is going to be this Silica, super cute card. Probably not going to run this one in the deck. It does come in the structure deck, but you're not probably going to want to run this. It has no trigger. It is 2000 BP, but it really just determines on what you want to do. These will probably be all the 0-drops you want to run. Hopefully we are getting a 0-drop Asuna in the set because the structure deck does not come with a 0-drop Asuna. So we can assume that we're probably getting one in the set. This is going to be your action point in the deck. Really, really cool. Kirito looking cool back at the camera. I really like the unionarena kind of star art like that. And then we've seen the Asuna. This is the action point here, just not the foil. And then one of the other action points is going to be the one from, this is going to be an entirely different deck, but you can build this deck, and one I'm really excited to do as well from the gun game. Moving on in the structure deck, you do have, this card is super strong. It's Agil. He is really cool in the show. I love him. Runs a shot. Really, really cool guy. I love his art style. He's a 1 energy, 1 action point, 2500 BP, double blocker. So if you are behind in the game, maybe you run 2 or 3 of this card. He keeps you in the game, being able to block out all those little bodies they're going to try to play and get in those free swings. Even if it's you're like, you say you're going second, you play down a 0-drop, you throw down the eagle on the front line, and now they're in trouble. They're not going to be able to swing with you with early bodies. They're going to try to get rid of this eagle, and this is a really strong card. Maybe would have been busted if he had a trigger, but he is a double blocker. 2500 BP. That stat line in general being 25 is so strong because really the only things that are given over it are the bodies that they can't play early in the game. We do have our Yui, which is, she is so cute, the daughter in the show, 1 energy, 1 action point. She is your double energy generator with 1500 BP, and we've seen this effect before, right? Return 1 other character on your field with 1 or less required energy to your hand if you cannot return this character. So you bounce one of your 1 or 0 drops back to your hand, and then you play her out to cheat into the double energy. We have Sachi, sweet, cute Sachi from the Anchorage, 1 energy, 1 action point, no trigger in life again here, 2000 BP, 1 energy generation. When sideline, draw a card. You may not play this card. It really just depends on like how much draw you want in the deck, but not having a lot of triggers is not going to bode well for you. So this Sachi is maybe a 1 or 2 of you're going to want to keep in the deck. Like I said, I'm not doing a deck build in this video. I'm just trying to run through all the cards in the structure deck and some of the cards that are going to help touch it out, right? Here we do have an Asuna, 2 energy, 1 action point, 3000 plus BP, and 1 energy generation. Once per turn, when this character moves outside of your movement phase, it gains 1000 BP till the end of the turn. This is so strong because our Kirito is going to move her from the energy line and move her up and back and forth, and she's going to be 4000 BP. 2 energy drop 4000 is so strong. Unfortunate that she does not have a trigger, but I guess that is some way that they're trying to keep this deck from being not as consistent, because if it is crazy consistent, which we're going to find ways to make that happen with other cards having triggers in our life, you can see where how aggressive this could be, and if it's consistent, you can really, you know, take advantage of your opponent. We do have our Klein, our buddy in the show, 2 energy, 1 action point, 3000 BP, 1 energy generation. This is a really strong effect. When played, choose up to 1 character with 3000 less BP on your opponent's front line and switch it to resting. So you get to rest one of their characters, so that way you can go in with your Kirito for the double attack, which is going to be so strong. This play right here can steal you games later in the game. Say they have a, you know, they're setting up to, you know, double, like, block out the Kirito. They see it on the that you're going to play it on the turn, give it the double attack, and they're trying to set up a lot of, you know, chump blocker bodies. You play this guy out, switch up to one character with 3,000 BP or less on your opponent's front line, switch it to resting. Now you get to swing in, and it is an active trigger. I think that this guy is going to be a 4 of in the deck for sure, because it is an active trigger, and it has an amazing when played effect to let you get through blockers, since this deck wants to be so aggro oriented. We have Lizbeth's Smith Shop here. It does 2 energy, 1 action point, 1 energy generation. It is a site, so it's going to keep giving you this 1 energy generation. It is a get trigger in the in life to get it to your hand, so maybe only run this at a 2 or 3, but this card is really strong. Play this site, set to active on your field. Activate main, switch to resting, and choose 1 character on your field. It gains 1,000 BP till the end of the turn. You can see how aggressive this deck is. You're going to be swinging early, often, and for a lot of BP. We've already seen before that we can get up to 6,000. This card could get us up to 7. This is just really, really strong. Exactly what the deck wants. Being able to swing in and give yourself these boosts, so that way your opponent can't just, you know, block you out for free. They're going to have to take some damage. This is a really interesting card, and I love the art of this card, because this is both of them teaming up for the first time in the show to take down one of the big bad guys. It is 2 energy, 1 action point. It's a draw trigger in your life. It says choose up to 1 of your AP cards and switch it to active. So essentially this card is free. You play it for 1 and you get 1 back. Choose up to 1 character on your field and move it to the other line. That's so good. You get to move a character. This is just a free cycle out of your deck too, because you don't care that this doesn't cost you anything. Or you may choose 1 character on both your front line and energy line and swap them out. So very versatile card. I think that this is a 4 of in the deck, so that way if you don't see your Kiritos, this card lets you essentially get those coveted Kirito effects, moving your characters between the energy lines without having to have him on the board, and then you can get their awesome effects. This card is essential. Really amazing to see a card like this. I hope that other decks get cool cards like this coming into the game. A really cute card here, Asuna Sandwich. This is just your final trigger. Get your 2 AP back. Final trigger in life. 3 energy, 1 action point. We have another Eagle, and this is just your 3 energy, 1 action point, active trigger character, 3,000 BP, 2 energy generation. We've seen this stat line on a lot of characters. The Eagle being active is really good, and he's going to help you keep your energy healthy, so definitely probably going to run 2 or 3 of this. We do have another Kirito. This is the color trigger, and this color trigger is so strong. Choose 1 character with 2,500 less BP on your opponent's front line and return it to their hand. So this deck is a really, really aggressive, low to the ground blue deck that gets the awesome blue color trigger to bounce something back to your hand, which helps stifle your opponent. This really strong card. He's 3 energy, 1 action point, 3,000 BP. He does give you 2 energy, which is awesome. All these double energy generators in the deck makes it where you'll be able to only keep, 2 characters on your energy line and worry about the other 2 spots to switch your characters back and forth. And it just says, when played, choose up to 1 character on your field and move it to the other line. This is so strong. Another Kirito who helps you move characters to the other line, so that way you can get in more attacks. You can see how often we can move stuff. We can play cards and then not have to worry about our energy line, because say we play this guy on our energy line and move something up, we use that character to contribute to his energy cost, and we've replaced it with another card, and it's almost like a pseudo raid in the sense that, like, you're getting to push up something that's going to get to attack this turn, and then since he's 2 energy, you're not really losing energy for the play. 4 for sure, really strong card. We do have a 2 energy action point cost Lizbeth that costs 3 energy, 2 action points here. She gives you 2 energy. She's 2,000 BP. She is a draw trigger in life. And this is a doozy of effect. Maybe only run this one out of 2 of. If you're bricking, it says, when played, draw 3 cards, then place 1 card from your hand into your sideline. That's draw 3, trash 1. That is, essentially a +1, because you play this card, that's 1 card, and then you get to draw 3 and then get rid of 1. Maybe +2, however you want to think about it. This is a lot of cycle in the deck. Really good card. Maybe I am sleeping on the fact that it costs 2 action points, but I can see it being a 2 of. If I'm wrong and it ends up being a 4 of, y'all can call me out for it or whatever, but this is really, really strong. Maybe you do run out of 4 of, right? Just early in the game on... Say you went second And on your turn 2, you have the 3 energy out. You hard play her down. Now you're setting your energy up to 5, and you just be able to cycle. It did cost you that turn, but now you're able to see your pieces. I can see this being a very divisive card in and out of the decks. It is so cool, super strong. Starburst Stream. This is our cool move that he uses in the anime for energy 1 action point. This is our special trigger in life, and then it is an event where you choose one character with 3,000 or less BP on your opponent's front line and sideline it. If Kirito is on your field, you get a 5,000 BP or less. Gotta run 4 special triggers. Really awesome. Gotta have Kirito on the field to clear essentially whatever you want. And that is the last card because we've already talked about the Asuna that gives us the impact and 1000 BP once she moves up. And then we also have talked about the double attack Kirito Raid. I am really, really excited to build this deck when it comes out. I hope that we get, you know, a little more support. The set is mainly for blue. Like, we know we're getting more cards for it, but I just wanted to go over this structure deck and some of the other cards that you're going to see. I will work on the other colors once we get more and more information released for them, but I am super excited for this set. Please let me know what you guys are excited for. Are y'all excited for the Kirito deck? Are you excited for the gun stuff? What are y'all excited for coming out in this set? I know I'm super excited to build this blue deck. I hope you guys are too. Please don't forget to leave the video a like, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate everyone hanging out with me. Peace.